Poor guy.
Tom, get serious.
Okay, Michael Jordan is probably one of the most known people, except there's a few things I didn't know about him. Today I'm going to talk about Michael Jordan's shoes and more specifically his Jordan 1s. I love Michael Jordan's shoes and actually own a few pairs of his Jordan 1s and Jordan Dunks. I'm going to mainly talk about a lot about Jordan 1s because I own some and enjoy this certain pair the most. I will also touch basics on his history of the Michael Jordan and his shoes and how popular they became. Jordan 1 basketball shoes have been around for a super long time. These shoes were designed and created by Nike, but they were Michael Jordan's shoes originally. Michael Jordan's shoes first released April 1st, 1985, with his first pair of the Jordan 1s. If you don't know who Michael Jordan is, he was one of the most known basketball players. Michael Jordan won 6 championships and with the Bulls, and all 6 times he was the MVP. There are 37 different types of Michael Jordans. Michael Jordan had a very creative mind, and he had so many different styles and colorways. The reason I picked the Jordan 1 shoe specifically is that it was one of his first shoes, and Jordan 1 was the most impactful on his career. If you didn't already know, the Jordan 1s was his first shoes that he ever wore. Now there's a lot of different colorways in the same shoe that he's created. The Jordan 1 was the most popular shoe that he had created. He wore the Jordan 1 mainly in games because that was one of his favorites and his first, and he wore the red and white colorway because that was the colors of the Bulls. He wore these the most because he played for the Bulls, and those were the colors he wore, the red and white, a lot. Now his shoes are nice and all, but no one wore them in game other than him. Michael Jordan didn't seem to have anyone else wear his shoes in game except for himself. The reason people didn't wear his shoes in game was because the insole was so skinny it made it feel like he was running on the floor. Michael Jordan made a deal to make his insole skinnier than normal because that's how he enjoyed it. For some reason, he actually enjoyed that. These shoes were so uncomfortable that after Michael Jordan's games, his feet would be bleeding in pain. So they bought them and wore them casually. So since people didn't enjoy the feeling of the shoes, they started to wear them to look good. So everyone started to wear them and spent thousands of dollars on certain colorways, and how depending on how rare they were, the more money they would be. Another thing that a lot of people do was collect his shoes. There are shoe collectors that will resell and sell to try and buy Michael Jordan's shoes. Today I've talked about who Michael Jordan is, his shoes, something special, and I don't think that he'll ever go away. Even though his shoes were made back in the 1985s, and some people don't think they might have been looked as the 2023 shoe, just like the normal Nike shoes that are made today. But these were high tops. Most of his shoes were high tops, and those were special back in the day, and that's what most basketball players actually would wear. So I think Michael Jordan, he's been just such an inspiration on younger kids and younger athletes with this new design. And I think his shoes are actually really making a big comeback in 2023. Even though his shoes were made back in the 1985, there's so many people still buying them and wearing them in 2023. Michael Jordan and his shoes will forever be an impact on this country, and he'll never be forgotten.